Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hi, everybody. It's Sunny, Margolis, and Char. I hope everybody's had a great few weeks, and we had we had a repeat because I did a class, an intuition retreat, and actually it was a past life regression retreat with my sister, Dr. Alicia Tisdale, and it really was fun. We went back to all kinds of lives, and it was incredible. But today, do you know what today is? Today is School for Psychics, and I'm so excited because I have two of my dear friends with me. It's Bessey and Victoria Recano. Recano, right? I said it right. Okay. Right. Okay. So anyway, I just call her Victoria. So anyway, so they're both Emmy Award-winning people. And Victoria she's a TV host and correspondent for Inside Edition, which is like amazing. Okay, but see how gorgeous she is? Okay.
It's Inside Edition, the #1 show in syndication right now for magazine shows.
It is.
So it's amazing.
Wow.
Congratulations,
oh my God.
right?
Thank you. Thanks, Brad.
It's getting all sorts of new generations because my son came up to me, Gabriel, who's 11, and he said, "Dad, look at this cool show I found on YouTube." And it was Inside Edition, and he had Frank start recording it.
Are you
so
serious?
now we watch Inside Edition because he discovered it on YouTube.
Oh my God, that's so
So there you
good.
go.
That's
Something
so
new every
good.
day.
And you do so much community service and the outreach and Zeta projects organizations providing care to HIV/AIDS infected patients. How wonderful. And Catholic charities, and you love to travel and cook and host culinary events. Oh, do you do that?
Yes.
Oh my God, you do a lot. And you know what else she
In my
does?
spare time.
She produces babies. This gorgeous little thing has had 4 kids.
Oh my God.
You can't see her, but if you would not, she's like skinny and gorgeous. You just wouldn't believe it. And
Thanks, Char.
yeah, no, you look amazing. And so I'm so happy you're here.
It's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited.
Okay, good. No, you're going to be great. You'll see.
Okay.
You're going to be super. And then also my dear friend Bessey, who probably I've known Brad longer in Los Angeles than anybody else of all my friends.
We've known each other for a long time.
Long time. And you're an Emmy Award winning person. And I mean, if it weren't for you, Entertainment Tonight wouldn't be the show it is now. That's for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I worked really hard to make it into the show that it was.
And also, you know, I've worked with a lot of producers in Hollywood, and honestly, you are the most gifted and most spiritual producer I've ever worked with.
Oh, thank you.
You're very intuitive.
But it's also important that I see television as the form of communication, and I really see what I'm doing is actually having a conversation and facilitating a conversation with an audience of millions. But I recognize that I'm responsible for that content and what we're talking about. So the conversation I put into the universe is what people are connecting with. So I think that responsibility.
Well, I can honestly say you've helped me so much through the years, even putting CharVision on The Insider. You worked on The Insider. And also, because I want to talk about how you two know each other, but you started Joan Rivers. You had a crazy idea to put Joan Rivers on the red carpet for E's Awards coverage.
Right.
It's amazing that you
John
did that.
River was the head of all the live specials, and we were in a meeting, and he was saying, well, what are we going to do to really change things up? And I had just been at E for a little bit, and I said, well, I have an idea. You know how Joan Rivers is always talking about celebrities? Why don't we put her on the red carpet and have her come face-to-face and talk to celebrities? Joan was phenomenal. She was one of the most professional people I'd ever worked with, and she showed up. And first she turned me down, by the way, FYI. And I thought, what could I do to encourage her to say yes to this? So I reached back out again and I said, listen, if I created a space where your co-host is going to be Melissa, would you do it then? And she said yes. And
that
she had a
was
great
so
time.
smart.
And it really changed her career, and it changed E's red carpet coverage. And I would run into her in airplanes years and years later, because we always would take that American red eye to New York.
Of
And so we
course.
were always on the same flight, often on the same flight. And somewhere in the middle of the night, somewhere over Kansas, she would come over and say, here, give this to your mother. And it would be the jewelry that she had. And she said, tell her thank you from me.
Oh,
so she never forgot.
what a doll.
And she was always really grateful. and I
She
appreciate
was
her so
lovely.
much.
She was really
Yes.
lovely. I knew her as well. But you're teaching now, Bradley, right?
I am. Starting this fall, I'll be teaching at Cal State Northridge. A little bit later in life, I went back to school. I loved it so much. I continue to love it.
Boy, are those kids lucky to learn from you.
Oh, well, I'm really happy to be in the space to learn from them. To be back at school in my 50s is really kind of an exciting thing.
Yes.
And I study like I produce. So it's like a simple 3-page paper will take me hours, like 30 hours, because I'll say, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what if we ask this? And so I'm asking myself all the questions. I don't make it easy for myself, but I certainly am learning quite a
Okay,
bit.
so we just wing the show. We don't really have a producer. I just like talk off the top of my head. But Nicole does get me the bios and
Yes,
stuff and
yes.
helps in the office, and she tells people how to get here. And of course Tony is great. He's great on the spot and knows how to put the photos up. And dear Tony really helps me with everything I do here. But I don't have like a person that comes in and produces this thing. But today I have notes of interest from Brad. Like,
my gosh.
all we asked for was a bio.
Wait.
Oh, that's all we asked for. And all of a sudden I'm reading this and I said, Brad met Char in 1990 at
Oh
Jerry's
my God,
Deli.
I love that you put that. Those
Yes,
are
I just
over
thought those were
lunch.
interesting notes. Those are things that are good for
What-
the audience will
Just
want to
in
know.
case she runs out of something to say.
Yes.
Right?
Right,
Yes.
with our mutual friend
Oh my
TC.
gosh,
that
that
is
is so
crazy.
funny.
Brad, okay, so I read for you during that time.
Yes, it was my Aunt Eunice came through, not a usual name, but Aunt Eunice was there to tell me that she didn't like the guy that I was dating at the time.
Really?
And then Char started laughing and she said, "Oh, they know you're not going to break up with him. Oh, but they're telling you that you should." And we eventually broke up, but not at that moment. They were exactly right.
And then I saw a G initial. I don't remember
oh,
any.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
This is
remember.
the other thing. And then we.
I remember your first reading too, actually.
Oh,
It was
really?
when-
Yes.
Yeah, it was at Insider.
Yes.
And it was on the set. And I remember thinking, oh no, don't say too much. Don't say too much.
I was
Because
reading
wasn't
for
sure.
you?
Yeah, for me. And I don't know, you were
Wow.
like, oh, you had this old boyfriend.
Oh,
And
no.
then this is your current.
I
I'm like-
outed you.
Yeah, I was like, oh. And then I'm like, okay, stop.
That's it.
Enough. It always
Yeah,
comes
right.
back to like the love life, right?
Right.
Ex-
Yeah.
but-
Except when she also, my mother was always fascinated with Char's work.
It's crazy.
And so she was, after, the only thing she said about our son, we adopted our son, the only thing she said about him was, I don't want to talk about this. I can't believe you and Frank are adopting a child. I don't want to talk about this. That was the only thing she had said. And then she died sort of suddenly a few months later, and we never had a chance to talk about it. So after her death, she woke Char up in the middle of the night. You never remember these things, but she woke you up in the middle of the night and gave you a sign. She said she showed you a G and an angel. Our son's name is
As
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
But
Oh
we were
my
at that
goodness,
point,
I
at
got
that point
goosebumps.
pregnant with like a girl. So it was a different thing. The roads closed in that adoption, but it seemed to lead us to Gabriel eventually, right? But so she came in and in the middle of the night to tell you that, and I'm like, and you were trying to tell me, and I said,
They do.
I don't know, a G, an angel, I don't know. My mother knew a lot of people with a G name. Like it just wasn't sinking in that we had talked about naming him Gabriel.
I love
But it was so
that.
sweet.
And I love Gabriel.
He's so sweet. He's so
Oh my
cute.
God, he's a dear, dear little boy.
He loves you. You're one of the grown-ups that he really gravitates
Yeah, he doesn't
to,
like
right?
to be with grown-ups. And they came to
Or he
visit
doesn't
me.
really like to be with people,
Well,
but
people,
he
but
likes
he-
being with you.
Wait, is
But-
that a
No,
new
he's
thing?
very social. He's
sweet.
very
I
social.
was
But
like,
he
wait a
came to
sec.
they came to Palm Springs, and somebody forgot a bathing suit. So Brad and Frank had to go buy a bathing suit, and Gabriel was, okay, you guys go away. I'll stay with Char.
Yeah, right.
was
that
so
was
sweet.
That was he usually likes to hang out with us, but he just wanted to hang out.
It was
with
really
Char.
sweet. Okay, now Brad has us talking about psychic connections. So
Boy, Brad,
here,
you've, like, laid it all
here
out.
are a few examples of
I
psychic
just thought
connections
it would be helpful to have
in my life.
if
Wait,
they-
but can
Oh
I
my
just say
If they
something
came up- if it
before
came up.
before he tells what we really should have had on video is all of us, including Tony. Getting ready and preparing, doing all our social media because I don't know what I'm doing.
And I
she
certainly
doesn't
am not
know what
any
she's
expert
doing.
by any
Brett,
means.
we're running around for like 20 minutes. We're trying to get it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Anyway, okay, so Brad, you had an experience at Bible camp. Tell us about that.
Oh, Char, this is. let me
my
tell
gosh.
you. Let me first talk about the connection that I
went
have
to
with
Bible
Victoria.
camp?
Yes. Oh wait, we're
Really?
going there. We are
Okay.
going there. Okay.
Okay.
So here, just really quickly, I think that I was looking at like ways that I was intuitive early on, and we went to Bible camp, and there was something called intercessory prayer, which was a evangelical.
It sounds a little shady, the intercessory word.
It was. It's really in the Bible. It says that if two or more people come and pray for something, then God will hear your prayers.
that's nice.
So the idea was that you would go and you would clear all the things that you were preoccupied with, and just be really open to hear the voice of God and the Holy Spirit, because it was the
Okay.
Bible
Right.
to really talk to you and tell you what to pray for. While we were there, we were all high schoolers, all sophomores. Our camp counselor had left us alone to sort of practice with this prayer. And we started, okay, well, let's just do it. And we were sitting there, okay, someone saw him, and okay, someone saw a female counselor there. Okay, I saw a wedding dress, her in a wedding dress. Okay, what does this mean? So we started praying for these two counselors and the wedding that we saw. When he came back, he was actually proposing while we were there. We had no idea.
How old were you?
We were 16.
That's
So-
amazing.
But the same process that I went through there is a process that you would take us through probably today, which is really being still, quieting your mind, being open to the voice of spirits and stuff like that.
So why don't you guys do that right now?
Okay.
No, wait. But before,
You've
wait.
got a few more notes.
I want you to tell us about the hummingbirds, because everybody knows, well, who have worked with me, they know that spirits do their best to make themselves known, and sometimes they'll take the form of nature. And so Brad has a story about hummingbirds.
Well, I do think that the thing about is being really is listening to that inner voice. In fact, when Victoria and I first met, we met at Grand Central Station in New York. We had like 15 minutes to meet with her. So we said, literally, why don't we just meet? And she was between what she was doing in New York. I was there with ET's executive producer at the time,
And
Linda
Terry,
Bell Blue.
and Terry.
Right, she wasn't there yet. So
Okay.
Linda and I met you at Grand Central Station, and I just knew that this would work, and we had to make it happen. I just had that sense. When we got together, I had that instant connection, and I knew.
Oh, wait, you hired her?
Because
Hired
of
her,
him.
yeah,
Because
right.
of him, I was.
Oh, wait,
because
you were
of Brad.
on the
Yeah,
Insider.
on the Insider. Launched the show.
Right.
It was because of him.
Yes, so
He was
I
the
said
man.
yes. So
Oh
she's
my
the
God,
one.
you were on the Insider.
Right.
Yes.
So we connected, and I knew that this had to happen. Linda Bell Blue, who's extremely intuitive as well, she thought, yes. So we all had this. We took Victoria like by the hand across town to meet Terry Wood, who
Yes,
was a
that's
CBS
exactly
executive
Unbelievable.
who was in town. She now works with Oprah, and so we introduced them.
I thought she was at
And
Netflix.
she was. She left Netflix to
Not
work
yet.
with Oprah.
Oh,
Yeah.
how great
Right,
she's
and the
working
Apple
with Oprah.
project, right? So,
Yes, that's
Oh,
right, yeah.
how
so,
great.
So isn't that great? So anyway, so that's how that connection happened.
And it was really like a whirlwind. Like I literally remember that like moment. I met you, Linda, and you guys were like, okay, come on.
And it was
just
like in those moments that we didn't know how that we were going to make that happen, but we knew it was going to happen, and we knew it was right. And
It
crazy.
felt right.
and
It was crazy.
It was synchronicity too.
It was, and so
Yeah.
that's how we came, like that, trusting that intuition, and then also just acknowledging the signs as we see them.
Right.
And for us, that what you've really talked about a lot over
Right.
the years with us is
Yeah.
that sometimes when our loved ones leave, there are signs, and you can ask for those signs. And I know
And
for
tell
your
us
mom,
this. Oh, yeah.
for your mom, it's the butterfly.
Okay, so tell us about the hummingbird.
Well, this Easter, we have moved to Stevenson Ranch. And it's a lovely community, and we really love being there. And my sister-in-law and my husband and my nephew and niece and Gabriel were there, and everyone was running around, like literally doing laps around the park. And it was just a really fun in that moment where you just think, oh, life is so right with all of this love and this family love. And at that moment, I'm walking on a track, and there's a hummingbird. There's no reason for a hummingbird to be there, but this hummingbird just flew and was just sit there for a moment and flew off. And I just said, you know what, Cindy, it's so good that you paid a visit.
Isn't
right?
that beautiful?
It's so nice, a sign. And it's the acknowledgement. There's no, oh, I wonder if. It's the acknowledgement.
You just
of that.
know.
And that's what we're working with Gabriel, our son.
Right.
We'll play a game where we wait in front of the elevator. It's not, oh, isn't that freaky? It's, oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, when I teach, I always say you can't just believe you're psychic, because in belief there's doubt. You have to know it, and you have to own it. And that's what you're talking about. You're owning your impressions that you get. And the more you do it, it's like a muscle, the stronger it gets. Now, I'm going to have you guys read, even though you know me, you don't know everything. You don't know. I have tons of aunts, uncles. I mean, I've got tons of family. There's so many things that you don't know about me. So I'm going to have you read for me, and also Tony, because you don't really know Tony at all.
Okay.
But we'll warm up on me. But first, the way that you do this is that, okay, so you have to let your mind go blank. Okay, and you have to know you're psychic. Do you own your power?
Yes.
Do you own your power?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's that simple, guys. Attitude. It really means a lot. So you close your eyes, if you want to close your eyes, and kind of be in your own world, and let your mind go blank, and then feel my energy. It's like your nerve endings will go out and touch mine, and you'll feel my energy, and you'll feel and get inquisitive. Like when you're psychic, you want to be a little bit nosy. So kind of like, okay, I wonder if something comes up in your mind, like, oh, I wonder, if Char's going away somewhere, or or if she's got something coming up or whatever. And then you just trust the first thought that comes to your head, and you might get just a symbol. Like, I remember when I first started doing this, I saw something like pizza, and it was like, I was reading for someone, it was the last meal she had with a loved one, and that's what she remembers. So you can't be wrong, is what I'm saying. And the more relaxed you are, take a nice deep breath, like breathe in your nose and out your mouth, and just kind of feel my energy. And just the first thought that comes to your mind, tell me, and I will be honest with you.
I see a woman.
Okay.
Oh, she's blonde hair.
Blonde hair? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is she living, or is she deceased?
Living.
She's living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe it's a family member of yours.
Yeah. Well,
did you just have a visit with somebody?
Yeah,
recently?
I did have a visit recently
Victoria,
with
you're great.
family with blonde hair.
Okay.
And there are two of them, two people. And one is like kind of white, but it turned to white, but she was always blonde. Right. And the other one is like blonde. It's my niece and my sister.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
I thought it was your sister.
And you felt it.
Yeah.
And see, that happens to me. It's like, I'll go, oh, I think it's a sister, but I don't say it. And then I go,
Yeah.
oh,
I could have said it.
Why didn't I say it? But it happens to me all the time. So
Really?
go on. Yeah. Because it's kind of like your mind is going faster than your words.
Are you working on another book?
Oh my God, yes. Did I tell you about that? I didn't tell you about that. Oh my God, I am. In fact, they sent me. Well, what else are you seeing? And then I'll tell you. That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually feel with this book that it's going to be one of your biggest yet.
Oh my
which
God,
is
I got
so-
goosebumps.
Right?
And when you get goosebumps, it means it's the truth.
Really?
When you get like, oh, I got goosebumps on my arms. Wow,
I kind of
thank you.
felt I kind of felt when I said that and you acknowledged it. I did kind of feel not goosebumps, but a little bit like
like it was,
butterfly
it was
or
like
something.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be a big success.
Yeah, right.
Something
From
very
your mouth to God's ears.
successful.
But, you know, and sometimes the sign, like you and your guides will have your own signs. So you'll get butterflies, you'll get goosebumps. You might feel a cold wind come by you or whatever. But just today, or no, just yesterday, they sent me the mock-up of the book title, which I am. They came
Really?
up with the title, and I'm over the moon about it.
Oh,
I'm over the moon about it.
you can't tell us what it is, right?
No, not yet. But you'll be one of the first to see it.
Okay, good. And we won't try.
You have to be careful. Like
We won't try to
Victoria's
guess
like
it.
one of the
I know, I'm sitting here
fiercest
thinking.
journalists. I know, and I'm
thanks.
wondering if that's because you have the psychic ability. Because you really, your interviews, you draw things out of people in a way that you ask them in a way that's not invasive, but they tell you things
they
that we
always-
haven't heard before. So I don't know if that's the psychic part
Oh,
of it.
that makes
part of
good
it
sense.
Is that I feel like I can understand somebody
Right.
without them even saying a word. And so, not just body language, but it is a lot about what you're talking about with feeling energy.
But you
And
also
you
are always so
understand.
positive and so optimistic and
I
so,
try.
yeah. I mean, you want to help everybody. You've
I know,
got such a
but
huge
sometimes
heart.
that's to a fault.
Well,
Can there be such a thing?
I guess so. No good deed goes unpunished.
Deed goes unpunished.
I do think there is something there that you do. I have found that I need to, the more sensitive I am, the more I need to make sure that I am protected. And I think that you gave me a tool several years ago that I use on a daily basis, which is seeing this light around me with mirrors on it, almost like a white
Okay,
tornado.
Yeah,
So-
I feel the same way.
So
because-
here's the deal. Do I what?
yeah,
because
you said
what?
the same thing. Well,
Because the
Brad's
one
right.
thing I forgot to tell you guys to do is to do the protection
Right.
before
I
you
knew you were going to
I
say
know
that.
before you read for anybody.
Yeah, but I already did it.
Well, I will tell
Yeah,
you
I
that I
did
did it
already.
as well.
Always
You must
do-
have knew that because I did it before
Thank
we
you for bringing
started.
that up, Mr. Producer.
Yes. And actually, it's funny. I go through like the day always constantly saying prayers to myself.
Okay, that's
Constantly.
and it's so
constantly
important.
do it, and that I think is just like
And
that universal like
Right.
protection all the time.
Right, and that's so important because anything there's, it's like there's Swiss cheese around us.
Mm-hmm.
There's like protection, but there's little holes that little
Mm.
trickster things can get in, and you don't want them to. Do you teach your kids to pray?
Oh yeah, every day.
Oh, that's so good. And
they
you teach
pray every
Gabriel?
day.
Right,
They pray
yes.
every day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one thing. In fact, Emmy, she's prayed and prayed and prayed.
She's
that
so
we'd
beautiful.
Have, my oldest, she prayed that we'd have a girl.
Ah.
And she got the girl.
Amazing.
Number 4.
Amazing,
So-
right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, she was going to church, lighting candles.
Wow, that's
What?
a lot of
on her-
pressure.
oh yeah, on her knees. Like I mean.
Oh my
at
gosh,
night,
that's a
next
lot.
to her bed. It was good. It was good though.
It's
and
so-
she got what she got what
And
she
do your
asked for.
kids come up with psychic things? Because out of the mouths of babes, kids can be very
yeah.
intuitive.
Yeah, my it's funny. Emmy always says that a Chinese man talks to her
Wow.
when she was really little. Okay, and she didn't really, but it was my dad because my dad passed away, and she used to always say, "There's this Chinese man that I see sometimes, and he talks
That's
to me
amazing.
when I'm sleeping."
That's amazing.
And, but because she doesn't
know.
But isn't
Right.
that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she had never seen him. She'd never met him.
But that is amazing and not surprising.
No, I agree.
Right?
It's not that surprising.
Right?
Wow.
I feel a little bit badly about it. Maybe I don't know. But Gabriel used to have a friend that he would play with, and he would talk about his imaginary friend. And it wasn't that it bothered me. I just wanted to sort of know about more who she was,
Right.
whether she was trickster energy or positive energy.
Right.
So Char, remember coming over to the nursery when he was maybe
Oh, I did come over. Yeah.
3 or 4,
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of, and we discovered it was a little girl and she was fine. But after that, she never came back. So I kind of think that
Wow.
the grown-ups came and spoiled her fun maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
And it always made me feel a little bit badly. But
Yeah, but maybe the people come in and out of our lives, and spirits can come in and out of our lives too. But it wasn't a bad energy. It was a good energy.
But Gabriel will
it
say
made him
things.
conscious
Yes.
about it.
But Gabriel will say things, just state them as fact. Well, you're going to do this, or this is going to happen. And I will just say, okay, well, I said, you're really into it.
And you need to listen to them.
Yes, I do.
When my nephew and his wife at that time were looking for a house, my great nephew was in the back seat in his car seat, and they were driving around all day looking at houses, and he was sleeping, and he woke up. They stopped in front of a house. He woke up. He said, "This is it. This is the house," and he went back to sleep, and that's the house they got.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, my nephew Jordan.
Well,
yeah.
it's funny too. Before we moved from New York to Los Angeles, I went online and I was like, oh, well, let's see neighborhoods and look at places to live, etc. You know that place that we bought, the first place?
Yes.
That was the first place that I opened up on the computer.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And
That's crazy.
we didn't end up getting it until like almost 8 months after we moved here.
crazy.
But that was the very first place.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Crazy and not.
And not, yeah.
Because I would, when I was at CBS, I'd take this walk and just sort of like between meetings, sort of like before I put the insider to bed and then I get to ET, and I just had to clear my head from one show to the other because I was simultaneously producing both. So I would take 10 minutes, walk outside, and I laughed at myself because I walked by this house and it had a for lease sign on it, and I took a picture of it, and I thought, I have a house, I don't know what I'm doing, but I did it.
Gonna go for it.
And then there was a gas leak in Porter Ranch where we lived, and we had to leave, and we had to go move into a rental. So that's the place. I found a house online. I didn't realize it at that moment, but it was that house.
That you rented?
And that I ended up, it was like, I realized it only when I went to meet the realtor there. And the other thing that was so funny is because he said, oh, it's a short-term rental. I don't know that they'll even consider it. But the house belonged to my friend Melissa Joan Hart, who just wrapped her series here and had moved home to Connecticut. And she said, of course, he's my friend. We'll rent it to him. So I was able to rent it for 4 months until we were able to move back into our house.
There's two ways of being psychic. There's psychic at random, like you guys are talking about right now in your everyday life, but you're listening to that God voice in your head.
Yeah.
And then there's psychic on demand, what you were doing when you were feeling my energy. Which is what I do with my clients every day.
Yes.
Like I have to feel their stuff. But when you talk about all this guidance that you have, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, God is guiding you. You're getting divine intervention, and the beauty of it is that you both listen. See, and the most important thing is when you get that at random is to act upon it.
Yes.
Some people I have a feeling, but I don't know. But you have to be brave, and you have to have, I call it the 4 C's. You have to have the courage, confidence, commitment to conquer it. And conquering it is acting upon it, which is great. Okay, so let's get one more thing. Can you feel an initial, a name, of anything? Not to put you on the spot.
No pressure.
A T, an A.
Wait, a T?
Mm-hmm. A T, a Tammy?
Oh,
Is
wait.
there a
Well, here's the thing. There's somebody that has a sound like that I just found out. I was working on a project, and I just found out they got another job somewhere.
Okay.
I just found that out today on Instagram.
Okay.
For some reason, I see this. I see the name Sydney, but
Oh my God,
what?
Sydney?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is like really special. I had a friend who was a really dear friend of mine who was very much into the work, and he was from South Africa, and he was really very, very good to me. His name was Sydney.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, and he's never come through before.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
That's really wild.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you who he is, because you might have known. Do you remember on Beverly Boulevard there was a place called Altman's? They sell fixtures for bathtubs and
Right,
bathrooms.
yes,
Yeah, I
right,
remember
yeah,
like
right.
hardware, like type things.
His name
yeah.
was Sidney Altman.
Oh.
And-
Really?
Yeah, and they did a story on him in People magazine with him sitting in a bathtub with his legs crossed and his arms crossed, and they called him the Toilet King because he did Barbara Streisand's bathroom
hysterical.
and Johnny Carson's bathroom and all
Wow.
these famous people's bathroom. But Sidney,
So I saw the.
oh my
toilet
God, I got
king.
goosebumps.
That's so crazy. Yeah. I mean, just the name
Wow,
right
that's
away.
nice.
That's a
great.
hard name. That's not a usual name.
No, I know, it's
and
not
it
at all.
wasn't like you and you
No,
heard
I
the
wasn't.
full name.
It was the name. It was Sydney.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great.
That's really good. I'm taking you on the road with me, both of you.
Right? Right.
Yeah. Okay, Brad, let's come up with one thing.
Oh, no, I'll tell you some things. I'm not going to judge them. I'll just tell them. There's what I see you like laughing and almost dancing, almost like you're in the desert. And I just love that so much. It's just joy. You're exuding joy and you're dancing in this place. And I also see a frog, which is an odd thing. I don't know why that is.
Okay, so that's interesting because, well, first of all, I do spend time in the desert. But
Yes.
second of all, in Michigan, in my home in Michigan, there's a little pond in the back, and I have frogs that live there. And I
Oh,
get
I see the frogs.
I get very excited
When
I
you're
see the
there.
frogs.
Oh,
Oh, right.
I mean,
I like
I
that.
try to get the photos. I call up poor Nikki who's trying to run the office. I go, oh my
Organize.
God, there's a frog. There's a frog. And
Well, your frogs miss you because it's just like no matter when I closed my eyes, I just kept seeing frogs.
that's interesting. 'Cause
And this joy, I just never, I've seen you happy, but this picture is just, in my mind is just you,
I love that.
like this abandon of joy, you know?
I love that. That means that's happy. That makes me happy. That's so good. Okay, so do you get anything else? Because otherwise we're going to switch to Tony.
Tony's turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Wait. Do you get anything else before Brad, I kind of feel like you're maybe.
No,
You're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
You guys did really, really
Wow, that's
well. Both of
amazing.
you.
Good.
You know, I always feel like there needs to be some validation, some kind of verification, and you both like totally, because you didn't know, you've never been to my house in Michigan. You had no idea that I have this little.
But I do think that there's something that you were saying about when you have the thought to not judge it, to just go ahead
Yeah,
and
just
not,
say it
right?
because-
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I'm like, she's going, you're going,
Yeah, you
Sydney,
have
you're
to-
going,
yeah.
and I'm going, wow, I'm getting a frog.
No, but I love,
What's this
I love
frog?
that Brad
Okay,
says
I'm going,
this.
okay, close my
Right.
eyes. There's a frog.
frog.
The frog won't go away. What's the frog? Okay, there's a frog.
Right.
And you're spinning in circles, dancing around.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that. That
Yeah,
means something.
it was so great.
Maybe it
I
has to
mean,
do with the book.
It might. I think. Hope. Yeah.
It could.
Sounds good to me.
I'm just
Sounds
saying.
great
Good,
to me.
good.
Okay.
Sounds great to me.
All right,
Tony,
now
are you?
it's
Are
Tony's.
you?
It's
Wow,
Tony's
Tony's turn.
Okay,
Okay.
so now turn off the TV. Turn off the TV for me.
Okay.
Okay.
And now let your mind
Can
go
I
blank.
validate one thing though?
Yeah, you can validate.
Brad, that actually my name is Tony Allen Sweet.
Oh wow.
TA.
Oh.
Oh my God! So you're already
Ah,
picking up
who
on him,
knew?
probably.
So there you go.
That
Oh
was
my God!
You
And
see
I
that
didn't know
his
that.
energy.
Yeah.
That has happened sometimes, Char, when you've been reading. When I've had her on every show that I've done, Insider,
Brad,
ET,
I know.
right? And
God
it's
bless you.
it's not because I'm looking out for you. It's because you really have such a gift, and it means so
Thank
much
you.
to the audience as they connect with it.
Thank you.
But usually there will be some in the crew. It's like it's always a distraction. We have to go through that process because
Right.
the energy of someone in the crew will come by so
Right.
strongly.
I know,
And-
and you can't help yourself.
And that's a perfect. I can't help myself.
know.
And that's a perfect example of what happened with TA Tony Allen. That's a perfect example because, but I also really did have somebody that I saw on Instagram today, and it
Yeah,
just a T,
right.
and yeah, and it was like, oh, now what do we do if he's leaving?
Right?
No, but it's okay because there's other good things going on with that.
Why am I seeing spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
Spaghetti?
spaghetti. Like I'm seeing a bowl of
Really?
spaghetti with like meatballs,
Maybe
and
that's
it
what
looks
you're
like
about
it's
to- maybe
great
that's what you're
Italian
about to have for
food. I
dinner.
don't know.
That sounds good. I'll take it. Spaghetti. I did have spaghetti a couple weeks ago, but
I don't
yeah,
know if that's it.
Yeah, but spaghetti.
Okay, well, keep going.
Yeah.
Can you give me a name,
Victoria?
I'm thinking.
I'm seeing an
feeling.
R.
I'm feeling.
In R?
A R-A, a ra.
I mean, there was
A Rick? Is there a Rick?
No Rick, but there is an R in a name of my mother's maiden name.
I don't think.
Can I
that's
tell
it.
you something?
Is there a Richard? No.
Can I
that'd
tell
be a
you
Rick.
something?
Yeah.
I dated someone named Rick.
Oh, right. Wow.
It might be me, but
tennis
you didn't
match.
know about him.
No.
I don't know. You might be, because it's even when I do. If you see some psychics and they're reading for a whole audience,
Yeah.
they'll pick up on
Other
everybody
people. Yeah.
near them.
But this is a little different because I'm seeing the letter.
You're seeing the letter R.
I'm seeing the letter R, not hearing it, and it could be a P. This is a weird thing because I've never really done the letter
P?
thing.
P. Well, I do have a
Oh wait, you do have a P?
Mm-hmm.
Deceased?
Deceased.
Oh my God, he does.
Yeah, because I think I was seeing the P and it looked like an R to me, but
Well, P is the first
There's-
name, the last name was maiden name.
But isn't there an
I see.
R?
It's
Wait,
your mom. Is
isn't
it your
there an-
mom?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
it is her. It's,
Wow.
and there's an R in her first name. In
It's
her first full
Patricia?
name,
Well,
right?
Patricia.
Yeah, it's
is-
Patricia.
Okay, don't say
Yeah.
names.
I just said it.
Oh, he says it.
No, okay, good. Oh, you did say it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh my God,
And did she,
that's
wait,
amazing.
Wait. Okay, this is kind of weird, but kind of fun. Did she ever make you spaghetti? Is she?
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh
she-
gosh,
yeah,
that's
okay.
Oh,
so funny.
my
I love
God.
it. Does she ever make me? I love it.
Wow. Okay. She's here.
Wow.
Does she come to you often?
I don't know. I mean, I think through signs, but not visions.
She has a very nice smile. Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, she did.
Patricia, what do you want me to know? Oh, well, this is obvious, but she's really proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's truly amazing because she just crossed over.
Yeah, about 5 months ago.
Really?
5 months
Yeah.
ago. Bradley, that's really
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
For some reason, I just see two boys. I don't know why. Like,
She had 2 boys.
Yeah.
that's it.
In fact,
Oh my
it's so
goodness.
weird.
That's
This is
it.
kind of
'Cause I
great.
was
She
like,
just
I
was
see two
telling me
boys.
that, actually, as you were saying that.
Really?
She was saying they're mine.
Yeah, I see two boys. That's why I was like, wait a second.
And my brother also starts with a T.
Okay.
A T?
Yeah, like immediately the first thing that I saw when I looked at you were two boys, and then
Okay, this doesn't make any sense to me, but I'll just go
You're
with
going
it.
with it?
Yeah. There's she's showing me a box, like a small box. It's white. I don't know if that means anything to you. She's like holding this box. It looks like about the size of like a small candy box or something.
I mean, there's a couple small, well, not small, but white. You say white?
Uh-huh.
White boxes that come to mind.
Yeah.
like that were in your house.
That were in my house, and then one that I have in my apartment right now. But it's not small. They're
No, she's showing me
medium
something
small.
really small, like almost, it's like a jewelry box or like a candy box. It has a little gold.
Well, it depends how small it is because there
Tony's
was a
smiling.
necklace. There was a necklace in a
Yeah,
white.
yeah, she's
box.
showing that
Jewelry
to
in
me.
a white box.
But it was
Yeah.
not as it was not a small. It was a
No, it's like it's if I were to, I'm gonna give you the shape of it. It's like, oh, I can't see my hands. It's about this big. Is that
Okay.
the size of it?
It's close to that.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sometimes you might see something and it may not, it's not always exactly the shape.
Right.
It's not always technical. It's like
Yeah.
a white box is enough.
Yeah. Okay.
A white box with jewelry in it is plenty.
Is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the specific.
don't
What
always
was that
have
to
to
her?
be
She was
specific.
showing it to me like she showed me her hand. She was holding on to it.
My grandfather was kind of like he was like an explorer, and so he would go out to the deserts and he would go all over it. But he had bought this squash blossom, all silver turquoise necklace. It was huge. I mean, it was thick and heavy.
Yeah.
But he had put it in a white box.
Okay.
And gave it to her. So she's had that, but then she gave it to my sister. So.
Okay.
But it was
Wow.
a box, jewelry box for that
Wow.
necklace.
That's good.
That was good.
It was
That
neat.
was
That's weird.
Bradley.
That was
That's
good.
really
That's great,
good.
right?
Okay. What are you getting?
Sometimes, like, is it okay if it's not necessarily something it's not someone that's actually crossed over?
Yeah.
That it's just something
because you'll talk about living entities because
about.
there may be something he needs to know about a situation that he's living in, or whatever.
Okay.
Because when I read, I say to people, just be open-minded about everybody living and deceased,
deceased,
because
okay.
I'll hear things, and when they give me, they download the information in us, and then I don't always know if they're telling me about someone living or they're telling me, identifying themselves from heaven.
So you live in an apartment, but are you looking at moving from where you are now?
Eventually. Yeah, eventually.
Like, I feel like you're gonna find a house or something, because I see a house, and it's a white fence, but I'm not sure if it's the house that you like grew up in, or if it's one that you're going to find to move into.
Definitely, it's not one I grew up in.
Okay, so then it's something that you might be eventually moving into.
But what?
No, it's me and my husband have been really talking about once he gets his job,
Right.
we can actually
You're going to go move into
look for buying a
house. Yeah.
a house.
Well, I think
I love that.
so. It seems like it's
like
it's
we really
it's going to
are
be
talking
sooner.
and talking.
And
It's
just-
going to be sooner than you
then
think.
later, and just for the record, I always say to him, "You're not staying there. You're moving."
Oh, you
She
do?
told me
I,
that all the
how
time.
many times have I said it to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to be sooner than you think.
If it's a house, I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
There, that's good news.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's
Yay,
great
happiness.
news.
That's great.
Happiness.
Wow.
Good.
And I'm also up close to you,
Oh, really? That's nice.
Valencia. So.
Oh, that's good. We're neighbors.
Yay.
Yay.
Wow.
It's lovely. It's a lovely area.
I love
Do you? Okay, this is like. But I'm seeing it's like it was going so
What do you
well,
mean?
right? I was like, it was going so well, and then you see, I'm seeing like a plastic, like a dump truck toy. It was like it's maybe I am thinking of, I don't know why, but that's what I'm seeing.
A dump
A
truck.
dump truck.
Like a little, like a Tonka toy, like that you put sand in and play with. I don't
Every
know
day.
why.
No, just kidding.
No, it's out of context for anything that I would
A
imagine
dump
with
truck
you.
toy.
Toy.
Sometimes we see sometimes we see things symbolically. So it.
I mean, I had one when I was a kid,
You
of
had
course.
a dump truck toy when you
Yeah.
were little.
Yeah,
A Tonka, yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Tonka toy. That's what I was seeing. So I don't know whether your mom's lingering and showing that to me, but it's what I was seeing. Oh,
What?
your mom likes to linger. She is here. She did come back. I'm now seeing her face. I'd love to see a picture of her later to see if it's matching the face that I'm seeing in my head.
Okay.
But she's
What are you seeing in your head?
well, I just, after I saw that and you were saying, oh my gosh, I had one as a kid. And then I saw her come back and smile like, why do you think I was showing that to him? Almost like she was just another way, I guess, of acknowledging that she was here.
Wow.
Yeah.
My
She
mom.
loved you
But-
so much. Oh.
Oh, we were really close.
They
Oh, really?
Tony
No.
talked to his mother
Every day.
every single night
For
on the phone.
49 or 48 years we
For
talked
no
every day.
matter how busy he was during the day, he would go home and talk to his mommy.
Mom. That was like my dad. I mean, I talk to my dad 3 times every day.
Oh, that's
Always,
so sweet.
always talking to him all the time.
I never understood those people. Every 6 months. I'm like, what?
No.
How could you do that?
Right.
No.
I mean, you couldn't have found anybody closer to his heart who's in heaven than his mom.
Oh, it makes sense that she decided to show up. Oh, and it meant so much to her that you did that. Wow.
Wow. You both, seriously, like you're both like amazing.
Really good. Amazing.
Really amazing.
You guys are feeling it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
I
totally.
feel it. Don't you feel it?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean,
And you can feel the energy.
And does it
Sometimes-
feed on does it seem to feed the psychic? Like when you're with groups of people, you do a lot
Yeah.
of workshops. It seems to feed.
Yeah, and the
right?
more
'Cause I
you do
feel
it,
more-
it's like
Yeah, the more-
you're allowing
yeah.
the energy to happen. And we live in a physical world and we live in an energetic world. And we kind of get into the vibe of the energetic world and the spirit world, and we're all in it together. And then the more you open Pandora's box, you start with one thing and
then it
everything
keeps going. You know
and
what?
then do you want
The
not to
floodgates
come
open.
back? Like
Sometimes-
I feel like there's this other sort of area that I'm touching on right now, and it feels like so much love and so lovely to be there. But I'm when I'm there, I'm not quite fully here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I just don't.
Exactly.
It's like, but I don't want to really be. It's like I kind of don't want to leave it behind.
Because
Right.
it's such a beautiful feeling,
Right.
right?
But sometimes, like, and I think I've told you this before, like at one point, like I was practicing it a lot,
Yeah.
all the time,
Right.
And I got kind of like scared by it
Yeah.
because it was like it was crossing over into so many like spaces in my life, like like dreams,
Right.
and everything,
Yeah.
and
Right.
it just started to like it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, Yeah.
because
I
I would
know.
I would sleep, I would go to sleep, and I'd have a dream, and then it would happen. Like
Wow.
it would just like it would happen. It wouldn't necessarily be that next day,
Right.
but it was really
No,
strange.
I had once invited my spirit guides to come and talk to me. Like really, I know I have spirit guides. I really want you to come. And I, almost like the hermit in a tarot deck, that guy with the cloak came, and I woke up in the middle
Oh,
of the
my.
night, and there was like this blue light about this color, and there was a man sitting on my bed. It wasn't an idea of a man or vision idea. It was
A real man.
And I looked at him, and it wasn't surprising again because I knew that I had invited him there, and I knew that he was my spirit guide.
You manifested him.
And I said, I so appreciate you coming,
Wow.
but I'm just freaked out, and I don't think I'm quite ready for this. And he just, with the knowing, smiling face that was old and wizened, just nodded, and he disappeared.
Wow.
And it was like, wow, okay, you got to be careful of what you ask for.
You do.
Because you have to navigate in this physical world
and
as well.
and also because there's like, you know, like you said, you have to make sure that you're protected at all times, and if the lines kind of get blurred sometimes.
I love that you understand that because it's I preach it all the time. People get tired of me saying, you got to protect yourself. That's why when we started today, I went, oh my God, I forgot to tell them.
Well, remember, I don't know if you remember this, but the very first time we met each other, you said something to me, and I remember thinking, you said something, well, you know, do you talk to dead people a lot? And I remember saying, no, I don't, not that I recall.
Right.
And then you said, well, do you pray? And I said, yeah, every day. And then you said, are the people that you're praying to dead? And I said, yes. I know. And she's like, so you do talk to dead people every day.
Oh.
And I'll never forget it because it's funny, like, you know, I don't think of that
Right.
as what I'm doing. But in reality, that's what it is. So it's just like the way you said it was just, you're like, you talk to dead people every day.
Yeah,
like,
but
you know-
I love that you guys pray and keep yourselves protected because that's really the most important thing is to stay in the white light.
Yeah.
Keep that white light around you, and then sometimes we put ourselves in the white light inside an egg, a mirrored egg.
Yes, yes.
And then we close it up so we're safe and secure inside the egg, and on the outside of the egg is a mirror, so anything that's dark or negative coming at you, you just send back to where it came from.
Yeah, and I always make sure that I do that practice in the morning, so that whatever impacts my day or hits my day, I'm not at the effect of it. I've already grounded myself in who I am, and so that then I'm not then sort of as influenced by it, right? I have the perspective.
You know what else you're good at? Even if you're worried or upset about something, Brad, you know how to not let the emotions get in your way. You let your intuition and your guides guide you. I've noticed that about you. You like if you're worried, if something happens or stressed or whatever, you don't let that emotion block you from being peaceful, being settled, and allowing the wisdom to come through.
I do think that there are times.
You're really good at it.
And there are times that you have to, again, you have to be a little bold. I just remember we had an exclusive interview with Kevin Frazier and all of Michael Jackson's surviving brothers. It was the first one after his death. And people have a different way of dealing with death. And some of the brothers, I asked, the question that Kevin asked was, does Michael was so spiritual, do you ever feel his presence? And they started making a joke about, oh yeah, it's like a ghost, like they were just and I just stepped in, and here I am on the set of an interview, and I've got all these remaining Jackson brothers, and they had agreed to do it, and it was a big deal. And so I broke my sort of own rule. I stepped in and I said, guys, I'm going to stop you, because you have the opportunity to honor your brother by telling me and this audience about his presence. It's a straight question. Do you feel his presence? And you're making it in a joke, and I think you're disrespecting Michael. Kevin asked the question again. And I just didn't know, like, sort of in that moment, what had come over that, and that I had stopped the interview for that moment. And they got really serious, and it was a powerful conversation about how they felt his presence.
And they really do feel it.
And they do feel it, and they didn't. I didn't allow them to superficial it in that moment.
To gloss it over, yeah.
And Kevin is a masterful interviewer, and he created the space then to have a deeper conversation.
But you stopped the joking around, and you went right to, because imagine Michael being in heaven saying, no, come on, guys, I'm here. Talk to me. I'm trying to let you know that I'm here, and I'm going to help you, and you can, help your children. And what's interesting about that is that when I was in the Netherlands, I had primetime TV shows there, and I had gone back for something to tape something, and I stayed in this hotel that was haunted, but the Jacksons were there. And I talked to one of the brothers about him, and he was very serious. So he verified exactly what you're saying, that he felt his energy and his spirit. That's so crazy.
We had an au pair who came from the Netherlands, and I told, when she saw that we were friends, she was so excited because you are a rock star there.
Oh, well, thanks. I haven't been there in quite a while. I don't know that the younger kids know me, but they just came and did a story here on us. So.
Wow.
So you guys, I'm really kind of speechless and so impressed with both of you, and you're both amazing. I wish we could continue on, but we can't, because Tony's got other shows he's got to put on the air. But I'm so grateful to both of you for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and helping me teach, because I forgot to do some things, and you brought things up that helped me bring out things. So your producing skills and your interviewing skills have totally helped me today. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll both come back and visit us on CharVision. Is there anything you want to give out, or anything about Inside Edition, or no? Just watch Victoria on Inside Edition, and go to Brad's class and learn how to produce. There's nobody better.
Well, you know what? The one thing I will say is I'm doing some work with Project Angel Food, and they've got they have a phenomenal event coming up that's an art gallery there, Angel Art. It's the UTA Artist Space on May 9th. So if people want to check that out, they could go to Project Angel Food's website and look for all the details. And we're always looking, as you know, you came and volunteered.
I did volunteer. I ended up, when Richard AU was on, I ended up volunteering, and all morning long I was putting corn inside a dish for a lot of people.
Right,
Oh,
but they
gosh.
do such important work, and
They're amazing.
They're
amazing.
And
Oh,
if
thank
I
you
could
for
plug one
sharing
thing,
that.
it would be that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, everybody. Tony, thank you so much for everything you do for me. Thank you, Nicole, at home. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for watching. It means the world to me. And just remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Be well. God bless you. Bye-bye.
I love that.